Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Westside Middle School Academy's monthly parent night. We're actually making up for February tonight. It's great to be with you all to give you some updates about the school. Our PTO is with us tonight as well, and they will be sharing some information. I'm actually going to let them go first, and then we'll do our normal routine, which is I'll speak about a few items, and then we'll take questions from the participants, which you all are. Just so everyone knows, we're in a webinar format. So the presenters are on this side and you're on the other side of the wall right now. Down below, there should be a chat button. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, you can certainly put them in the chat button. And as we proceed throughout the evening, we'll be more than happy to share those with you. So I'll put up the PTO agenda first, and we'll allow the PTO to present their information to us.
Great, thank you. Well, welcome everybody. We're excited to share some great things that we are able to plan and have go on. The first thing we're going to do is just have Jen, you want to do your treasurer update?
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so this is for January. We had a beginning balance of $4,301.32. We had a donation, a parent donation come through Venmo of $30. So that just, of course, increased our grand total to $4,331.32. And then we did have one expense, which was the mask split with the school. So we had to write a check for $525. And that brings our ending balance down to $3,806.32. It was kind of a quiet month. And then February, it was even quieter. We opened up and closed with the exact same balance, $3,806.32. There was no income or expenses for February.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we just have some notes from citywide PTO, just a couple things Rachel sent us. I'm just going to share them with you. So they, there was an opening on the board that they filled the vacancy at their last meeting for the Board of Ed. They talked about the Career Academy and the building update, and they're working on the plans to hold the Career Academy at Cardis, near the mall over there. And the academies gave an update at the Board of Ed meeting the night before. The city finance department was meeting weekly, and the mayor was there to present a proposal. The mayor is going to be there to present a proposal at the April council meeting. And then for February, they had a presentation on a web-based program designed to have self-discovery, college planning, and the college application process to have help with all of those things, and for students to access some tutorials during middle school and expand upon throughout high school. Their March meeting was moved from March 14th to March 14th from March 7th. And that was all she had there. I think today, so the online store is open. Our next online store, there's t-shirts, there's hoodies, there's joggers, there's a great windbreaker, and there's stadium blankets. Carissa, is that running for how long did we decide that?
I apologize because it was supposed to be posted on Facebook before this meeting, but it will be posted immediately after this meeting, I promise. I think we're going to run it for 3 weeks, starting today. I'm not sure exactly of the turnaround on that, and then it should be updated also on our website in the next day or so.
Great, perfect. And those, as before, if you order, they'll deliver it to the school, and then it'll be sent home with your child. We also talked about there's still masks available I believe there's $10. They're still available and you can get those at the school. We're talking about having lawn signs to support the 8th graders for their end of the year, for their graduation. So we are working on that, and we will have some more information about pricing and how to order those and pick up as soon as we finalize everything. Okay. Krista, you want to do some more updates?
I would love to. So we actually have a lot of things upcoming, because now that things are starting to get a little more lenient, we're starting to be able to do a little more of our traditional things that we haven't been able to do in the last couple of years, which to me is super exciting. I'm so excited about it. First thing coming up is we're going to start to be able to do dances. I know the kids are excited about this. I think probably some of the parents are excited about this. The first one we have coming up, the student council is going to be hosting the first one. Did we say, are we good with the dates?
Yes.
Okay. The first one coming up from the student council is going to be on April 1st. We are going to be supporting them in that, and I'm sure they're going to be looking for some adult volunteers to help them out with that. And then we have our own that we will be hosting on, I know I have it down here, on May 13th. And that's going to be the PTO Spring Fling that will be included for all of our students. And then we're going to also have the 8th grade dance towards the end of the year on June 10th. So those are going to be really exciting. We're going to need a lot of helpers. Either help planning or help donating some things, and maybe donating your time. I know they'll need chaperones and things like that. So we're definitely going to have a lot more information coming up shortly about all of those things. So keep it in mind if it's something that is interesting to you and you want to get involved, because these are really fun things that we haven't been able to do. And I'm sure the kids are going to be really excited to start doing them again too. So we also have a teacher appreciation lunch coming up, not until May, but it's something to start looking at now, May 5th. We'll be looking for donations of food and monetary donations as well to help with some of the other things. And there'll be more information about that in the next month or so. But again, something to look forward to. And then let's see, what else do we have? That might be what we have coming up in the near future, but again, that's all a lot to do. So the ways to find out about this stuff is always, I try to stay on top of Facebook all the time, trying to keep everybody updated and informed on what's going on. That's a great way to find out, but you can also always go on to the school website under the parent tab. We have our PTO page under there. And we try to stay updated on that. We also have the Remind app. All you have to do is text WSMSA 2022 or 2024 to this number. It's 81010, and you will get reminders. I don't think that we put a reminder out for this meeting because it was kind of thrown together quickly, but we also try to stay on top of that. Our apologies. Or you can always email us. We are always answering emails constantly. That's at westsidedanburypto@gmail.com, and we will always get back to you as quickly as we possibly can. If you are interested in any of the things that we mentioned beforehand, already before we've even put anything out, please let us know, because we're always we always don't like to hunt everybody down. So if you're one of those people that really want to get involved, let us know before we hunt you down. That is very helpful and takes a lot of stress off of us too. That's how those are ways to get involved. Volunteers, we're going to need donations. We're going to need, we also, you might have seen a lot on our Facebook page. We do donors choose. A lot of the teachers have some needs that they're looking for, and that's a great way to help in your children's classroom if one of your teachers are looking for something in particular. We are going to be able to do a lot more fundraisers now, which is super exciting too. Now that we have more to do, we are going to start needing more money for it, obviously. And we haven't been able to do fundraisers in a long time, but we didn't have anything to go for the money to go to. So we didn't want to do a lot of fundraisers without any of the the activities that are usually funding. So we're looking into a lot of like the restaurant ones, where you can go each time and just mention the school's name, and a particular portion of your proceeds will go back to the school. So if you see any of them, we really hope that you guys will go and visit them. I think we talked about a couple. I think we talked about Chipotle and Chick-fil-A. I know that Panera does them. So we're gonna be getting a lot more information on that. So please, if you see them, go and visit those places. Your money will come back to the school, and we would appreciate it. Let's see. The last thing I have is for Mr. Newhousel. We are almost through all of our academic competitions. The last one coming up is on, hold on, I have the date. 1 second. It is on April 13th. It's the National Geography Challenge. The times needed would be 7:45 to 10:15, and I do believe that that will be held virtually, so you don't need to go anywhere. You just need to have access to a computer, and these kids work so hard on all of these things, and it's a great opportunity to get a kind of an inside look on what's going on in your children's classroom. So I highly recommend it. If you're available on that day, contact him and he can get you set on helping with that. And that, I think, is all I have.
Okay, we have a couple of questions from the parents. When do the Amazon Smile revenue show on the financial report?
I think that we just got that email today. So hopefully that will show up shortly. I just remember seeing it, and I think I briefly checked it over that we got it, but I don't think,
Right.
I can't give you a number or anything at the moment.
Okay. So I guess we'll probably look for that in the March,
Yeah.
report. It was
Right.
March anyway, because it's not this fiscal month yet. All right, and then we have another question. According to my daughter, the PTO is supposed to be helping with the movie event on March 18th. Just for those of you that don't know, that's an 8th grade event. They're looking for details to be a volunteer. I'm not sure if you guys have disseminated information on that, or if the kids have reached out to you yet regarding that. If not,
No, but they can.
yeah. So,
Actually, the kids have reached out briefly and just asked if we would be able to help them. But we haven't gotten any more details.
all right.
We said, of course, that we would be happy to help them, but we're waiting to hear back what kind of help they actually need.
All right, so I will let them know tomorrow when I see them.
All right, sounds good.
Regarding the movie night. So for parents, 8th grade is going to be having a movie night on March 18th. So exciting times. Again, more events back at the school. So we're really excited about that. And Joan, thanks for the question. And again, if you have questions as we talk, please feel free to add them to the chat box and we can answer them for you, because that's the whole point of the meeting. We want to make sure you guys get the information, or families get the information they need in order to make sure they stay connected to our school. You can connect to me, YouTube and Twitter. I'm available those ways. I haven't made a YouTube video in a while, although I typically convert the PTO meetings into YouTube videos at the end. That way, if people want to see them at a later date, they can see what we talked about. I'm going to remind everybody, this is language we use at the school very commonly. Be safe, be respectful, and be responsible. That's our school-wide expectations. We take them very seriously. And I encourage you to have conversations with your child about those things. I think we've had some struggles with some students really not respecting the school the way they should be. And, there's been some damage to some of our facilities. We want to really make sure that everyone takes ownership and responsibility of keeping our school beautiful, and really that's a message that we can share all together. Use that language with your kids. Your teachers use it all the time. You can ask any student what does SR squared stand for, and I've yet to have a kid not tell me what SR squared stands for. They know what our expectations are of them, and you can certainly help us by reinforcing that at home. I have several updates for you, or a bunch of updates, I guess, but some of them we covered already. So We still have COVID rapid tests available at the school. If a child's exhibiting symptoms or has direct exposure to an individual, all you have to do is request it. The nurse is the easiest way to contact for that, and we'll be more than happy to provide you with rapid tests. We have hundreds of them, and they do expire in June. So if you're in need of it because there are symptoms or there's been a direct exposure, please let us know. So we talked about a little bit about the great events that the school has already done in school. Our kids are actually out competing right now at the state level. So we have our, this Saturday, our students in the Global Studies 7th grade who made it to the next round of History Day will be competing at the Regional History Day. So we're excited to see what happens there. Our 7th and 8th grade STEM students who were our top winners at the our Building Science Expo. This Monday and Tuesday, they compete at the state level in preliminary judging. So we'll be anxiously awaiting tomorrow night to see who in the school is a state finalist. And those students will compete next Tuesday, I believe, for the wrap up of the state competition. The science and engineering fair is pretty exciting. They are giving away over $500,000 in prizes, scholarships, and awards to the kids. So it's really kind of a big deal. And we've actually seen, I don't think it's happened to our school yet, but there is an 8th grader who will walk away with a $100,000 scholarship to Quinnipiac University. So maybe it'll be one of ours this year. We'll wait and see. Parent nights, just so we know, we're actually hosting some parent nights for our immigrant families. So we're having 2 Spanish nights and 1 Portuguese night coming up next week and the week after. Those families have been contacted with some of our parent liaisons. And if you know a family, the nights will be exclusively in those languages. They will not be in English. So if you have families that you know that would benefit from coming to a parent night to learn about the school, they can contact the school. Substitutes, we are still in high need of substitute teachers. It's very challenging for our classroom teachers when other teachers are out. It's going to happen, and they have to cover the classes for those teachers. So it really adds a lot of stress. If you know anyone who is looking for work as a substitute, we would be very excited to have them on board. Talked about the school dances. It's very exciting. There will be caps on the number of participants that can participate in the school dance. There's a limited amount of space. So when you hear about the dance and the notification goes out, buy your tickets early. We will not sell at the door. And we're going to have a cap probably in the 200 to 250 range. We're going to have a live concert this year as well. It's scheduled for June 2nd, 2022. We're making some final determinations whether we're going to do that at the high school auditorium or if we're going to do it outside at the school, to be determined at this point. For those children who, parents who have children who are 8th grade students, we're having a moving up ceremony too that will be held at Danbury High School on the stadium field outside. The date is not yet selected, but when it is selected, our time will be 2:30 in the afternoon. So we'll get the hot one. That'll be the hottest one if it's a hot day. And at Danbury High School, dropping off. We're still struggling with our drop-off process, and we're causing problems for Mill Ridge Primary too. So we have this situation where I'm not allowed to delay the buses from getting in and out. That's why we go behind Mill Ridge. But for safety's sake, please do not be cutting through lines. If you hit sidewalk, please encourage your child to get out of the car whenever you get to the sidewalk so they can walk through and we can process the cars as quickly as possible. We're estimating we have about triple the drop-offs as we've had in a normal year, so it does back up the process. And it's also making it challenging for Mill Ridge Elementary Primary teachers to get to work themselves. First 2 weeks of May, our ESPA testing, that's the state required testing that goes to our accountability and ranks us as a school. As many of you know, we were in the USA Today, US News and World Report's top middle schools in the country. We'd love to maintain that. A big part of that is the performance that our students do on their ESPA. So encourage your child when that comes around to take it really seriously because that showcases what a great school we have. And we know we have a great school. and to have more evidence of it is important. Next Monday, we'll be participating in the Sandy Hook Promise program, Say Something, and it's really to teach students how to identify those who are in need or in crisis and saying something to a trusted adult. And finally, on my list is registration. We're going to be registering students for their classes probably within the next 2 weeks or so. Our school counselors, once we figure out exactly the process, will be going into the classrooms and registering your child. If you're an incoming 6th grader, you don't have much choice. You get to basically pick your music class. If you have a rising 7th grade student, they will have a choice between world language, Chinese or Spanish, or our trimester electives, which are art, digital media, and in STEM, engineering, and in global studies, broadcast journalism. And 8th grade, also, if you're making a commitment to a world language, you are committing for 2 years to that language. So it's not you do it for a year, decide you don't like it and get out. We allocate teaching space based on students making the commitment to be in. And so we do not have the flexibility based on our staffing to switch students out once they make a commitment to be in. So that's a serious commitment. If a child wants to take a world language, it's a 2-year commitment. And 8th grade is similar to the 7th grade in terms of choices. We'll also let Mr. Dara say anything, if he would like to say anything and add anything to the conversation, if there's any other information that he'd like to share.
I think you said it all right. I think the only thing that kind of pertains to me is I also chaperone and attend all the dances, so I will be there to help out everybody. And Sandy Hook Promise Say Something is an amazing program for a lot of our kids. We teach our kids to always have a trusted adult in the building and to say something if they see something that could be potentially at risk. So that's very important for your kids. I just welcome to have have a conversation at dinner when they come home from school that day, because it is an intense meeting that the kids go through in the morning, and hearing all about it. And usually that week we get a lot of kids reporting a lot of things. So we always want to make sure kids are ready and can say something to a trusted adult in the building. The registration courses for next year for 8th graders, or Danbury High School freshmen counselors will be coming in on Monday and Tuesday to register all of the 8th graders for those courses. And so if you went to the 9th grade freshman academy meeting that was held on Monday night, that process was explained to the parents this year. Miss Mariefberg and myself are not responsible for the 8th grade registration this year. They were going to do it with the freshman academy counselor. So they will be coming down. We talked to them about the differences about honors and different classes, but it is a family conversation for what your students are going to be taking. And then the registration is final after Tuesday. So please reach out to us if you have any questions. Of course, if your kid is absent, we will definitely take care of it ourselves on our end, and always happy to have a conversation with anybody. So thanks for having me. Thank you, Dr. LaBanca. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Dara. Great information. The department chair, 612 of school counseling, has requested that if anyone has questions, she's more than happy to take them. So directly to Vicki Carlson, any questions regarding registration? And so, and of course, we'll support everybody in the process as well. So, Ms. Sanchez, I'm not sure if I missed anything, but maybe there are some questions in the chat that you'd like to read, and we can answer parents' questions now.
Yep, there are questions. Only thing I thought of that we didn't discuss was Invention Convention that was moved. I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, so our Invention Convention, because of the bad weather, is going to be this Tuesday. So we're going to have a really exciting day on Tuesday coming up, because we're going to have the Invention Convention for our 6th grade STEM students, and our 7th and 8th grade science fair finalists will also be presenting at the state level too. So lots of great stuff coming up next week. Crazy stuff going on at Westside. Really exciting.
So Mr. Dara did reiterate that Westside dances are meant for Westside students only. So just a reminder to parents to be aware. Shruti asked what the qualifications are required for substitute teachers. Is any training required?
So in terms of being a substitute teacher, the requirement is that you have a bachelor's degree. It can be in anything. It doesn't matter. It's just a college degree. If you do not have that, there are alternative ways to do that. There are alternatives. We can apply for you if you don't have a bachelor's degree. And then we do that with Kelly Services. That's our vendor that does our substitutes. And so they have an onboarding program, which I believe is all virtual, that sets the person up with the training and the expectations for being a substitute. So that's the process.
Will there be a PSAT for 8th grade students this year?
There will not be a PSAT for 8th grade students this year. That's something we did several years ago. The district has decided not to move forward with that. At this time, it's a huge financial investment to do that, and we weren't really getting the information we needed to better understand our students and provide them with more of what they needed. So at this point, the PSAT is not continuing for 8th grade.
Is the concert for all grades?
Concert will be for all grades. We typically divide it into 2 parts. We have a 6th grade time, and then we have a 7th and 8th grade time. So we usually divide it in half. The students will have report times, the concert will be, then we'll switch out the audience, and we'll do the 7th and 8th grade after that.
Can a child take art and language at the same time in 7th and 8th grade?
They cannot. They cannot do that. That's the choice that has to be made. So if they take language, the other 2 things they get are music and physical education. So PE and music, everybody gets, almost everybody gets. And then the choice is, the third choice is either the world language or the trimester specials, which are art, digital media, broadcast, and engineering, depending on academy.
How much are the tickets for the dance on April 1st?
I'm assuming they're going to be $5, but don't quote me on that. I hear there's a 7-point-something inflation rate right now.
Do you believe they did say $5?
Okay, that's usually what we charge for it.
Is next Tuesday an earlier deadline to sign up for DHS classes for just incoming 9th graders, as DHS communicated April 1st is the deadline?
So what's going to happen is, and Chris, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, is Danbury High School school counselors and assistant principal will be coming down to us on Monday and Tuesday next week to start the registration process with the students. So while it is due on April 1st, we're actually hoping to have this whole thing wrapped up rather quickly, and the kids can meet with the school counselors from the high school and do that registration process right away. And Mr. Dare is giving a thumbs up on that.
The GPA and the PowerSchool app seems to be causing issues again. Doesn't reflect the 3rd trimester grades, stuck at 2nd trimester, which we were having that issue in the 1st trimester.
So just like we have issues with substitute teachers, and many restaurants are struggling to find people to work at restaurants, we also have some empty spaces in our technology department. So the middle school does not actually have a current technology person full-time right now doing our PowerSchool database work. So we get shared people right now. So we will look into that and check into why that is not updating. But please know that it is due to a lack of staffing, unfortunately, right now. Did we get all the questions?
That is it in both the Q&A and oh wait, will there be an award ceremony for kids with higher than 95 averages?
Okay, so that's kind of an interesting question, because yes, there will be an awards ceremony. Any student who gets the honor roll will, and that is 90 average and above, will be recognized for that. And any student who meets the high honor roll, which is 96 or above, will receive a certificate. And also the world famous Westside Middle School Academy bumper sticker. So those will be made, and then our teachers actually give awards as well. So those are the school-wide awards, but we also recognize students who have done well in the regional and statewide competitions. The teachers identify students who have been successful in their classes and have shown really good improvement. So there's lots of awards, lots of recognition. That will likely be in late May. We haven't picked a date yet, but we'll do that at the school. The goal is to do that outside. We did it on the stadium last year to spread everybody out, but we might be able to do it at the school, at the building, as we used to do traditionally, which nobody has seen actually. None of our current students have seen our award ceremony outside under the portico. So we might be able to return to that this year.
Just a question if the technology person is at the school level or at district level, and if somebody could come and help Westside part-time for PowerSchool updates.
So the person who is being hired to be the full-time district person is the West Side person who's in the building right now. So he's kind of being tapped to do both jobs right now. And the problem is like 3 layers back, because there's going to be a person coming to replace him, I believe, from the high school. But the problem is the person replacing the person at the high school has not been replaced yet. So it's this big domino thing. District has really kind of taken a stand that they are not, if they're shifting people internally in the building, they're not moving them fully to their job until that back position is filled, because they don't want to create a situation where one position is filled and then back. So the person is working part-time and is working with the senior administrator who does the technology at the high school. So they are doing some shared work together. We're working, the press this week is actually going to be to get report cards done. So we're working, that's the priority, very honestly, right now, is to get report cards set and done.
And is it possible for somebody to come volunteer for a few hours to help with PowerSchool?
So probably not, because most of that is privileged student data, and you'd have to be an employee of the district, because you'd have access to material that is privileged.
And parents asking about the dance, the hours, and that's from 6 to 8
So
at night.
yeah, so the student council one is 6 to 8. I'm not sure what the PTO one is going to be, if it's going to be 6 to 8 or 7 to 9. It's going to be a 2-hour window for the dance, though. Your kids will come
Parent is
home.
asking, oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I was just gonna come. Your kids will come home sweaty and all sugared up. So have
It's
at it.
stinky, right in the shower. One of the parents is asking if I can actually send out an email with all the dates, including Sandy Hook, electives, dances, and everything. So
Yeah, and usually that stuff is posted on the website as well. So we'll be sure to get that information out to all of you.
make sure to listen to those Monday weekly updates or check those emails because they do go out.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It was great to have you. Again, we can't be successful without you. School at Westside is a partnership between teachers, parents, and their children. So I hope everyone has a great day, great evening. We'll see you sometime soon. I believe we're going to try this again late March 31st, I believe was the date we set. So we'll see you all soon. Have a great night. Bye-bye, everyone.